Hello, y'all. So my name is Roby, or Haitian Hooper on Instagram. So I basically want to share a quick message that God gave to me this morning. I was basically up around 2 o'clock in the morning, and I looked and I saw my Bible was open. It was open to Deuteronomy 7. Yes, Deuteronomy 17. So basically, the message that I got was, have no fear, remember why you are here. So basically, my spirit just told me basically to start reading it. And then I started taking notes around Deuteronomy 7:16, where it says, you must, this is the New International Version, you must destroy all the peoples the Lord your God gives over to you. Do not look on them with pity, and do not serve their gods, for that will be a snare to you. You may say to yourselves, these nations are stronger than we are. How can we drive them out? But do not be afraid of them. Remember well what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and all of Egypt. You saw with your own eyes the great trials, the miracles, the miraculous signs and wonders, the mighty hand and outstretched arm with which the Lord your God brought you out. The Lord your God will do the same to all the peoples you now fear. Have no fear. Remember why you're here. Okay? Moreover, the Lord your God will send the hornet among them until even the survivors who hide from you have perished. Do not be terrified by them, for the Lord your God, who is among you, is a great and awesome God. Do not be afraid of them. Do not be terrified of them, because God is more powerful than all. But let's continue right here. This is now we have Deuteronomy 7:22. The Lord your God will drive out those nations before you, little by little. You will not be allowed to eliminate them all at once, or the wild animals will multiply around you. But the Lord your God will deliver them over to you, throwing them into great confusion until they are destroyed. He will give their kings into your hand, and you will wipe out their names from under heaven. No one will be able to stand up against you. You will destroy them. No, I had to put that parenthesis. So he was like, do not be afraid. Have no fear. Do not be terrified by them. Have no fear. Remember why you're here. So basically, the message I got from Spirit is saying, there's some of you out there who are feeling afraid or feeling like, oh, I can't speak up, I can't use my voice. You know something is wrong. You know something is wrong. Your spirit is telling you something is wrong. You're afraid to speak up because, oh, I'm afraid this might happen. Oh, I'm afraid they might turn against me. Oh, I'm afraid they might not like me. Oh, I'm afraid I might get fired. But have no fear. Remember why you're here. Let's go back to 7:16. You must destroy all the peoples the Lord gives over to you. So those people that the Lord is giving over to you, where you feel in your spirit, I need to rebuke them. You need to rebuke them. You have to. You have to. You have to, because remember why you're here. If God's telling you, you must destroy all those people that the Lord's, your God given to you, you've got to do it. You run away from it, what you think is going to happen to you? God does not play. You're here for a mission, and you got to complete this mission. Have no fear. Do not be afraid, because why would you be afraid? Because the Lord your God is on your side. Can't nobody overpower God. And you have to get that engraved in your brain. Can't nobody bring you down because you are on God's side. You're doing God's work. So God is going to back you up. Because he gave them over to you to destroy them. And how will you destroy them? You destroy them with truth. I'm pretty sure the Lord God ain't saying just go ahead and kill him. I'm pretty sure not, especially in these times. I'm pretty sure he's not saying that. But you can kill them with kindness. Because the scripture does say too, forgive your enemies and give your problems to God so he can avenge you. Okay? So, basically, again, have no fear. Remember why you are here. You are powerful. God is with you. No weapons formed against you shall ever prosper. Whoever needs to hear this needs to know, stand strong. Stand strong, okay? Okay, so we're going to keep going on because after I got this message, it says, do not forget the Lord. And that's in chapter 8. That's after chapter 7. So do not forget the Lord. Chapter 8. That comes after God is telling you, do not be afraid, destroy these people. And now he's saying, do not forget the Lord. And it's saying right here, the first scripture, the first line in the scripture, it says, be careful to follow every command I am giving you today, so that you may live and increase and may enter and possess the land that the Lord promised on oath to your forefathers. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the desert these 40 years to humble you and to test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. He humbled you, causing you to hunger, and then feeding you with manna, which neither you nor your fathers had known, to teach you that man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. So boom, right there. So I told you, you have to. So if God is telling you to destroy these people, you have to do it. Because right here it says, you have to follow every command that is in here, because if you do, you may live. So if you don't, what's the opposite of that? You may live and increase. So if you don't, you will decrease. And then you possess the land that the Lord promised to the oath to your forefathers. Your ancestors been praying for you. You are here where you at because your ancestors prayed for you. So truthfully, your ancestors, we know what our ancestors been through. They've been through the worst of the worst. And truthfully, we are blessed. We might not have everything right now, but we are still blessed compared to history, truthfully. Okay? So basically, a lot of us have not entered our promised land because we are not doing what God is telling us to do. We are afraid. We are afraid to speak up. We are afraid to rebuke these people. We are afraid to tell people you are wrong. You are wrong. What you're doing is evil. Okay? People are just out here letting people be evil and do whatever they want to do, and they just watching it and they laughing just to make friends. Nah, man, you dancing with the enemy. Dancing with the enemy. Speak up. People might be like, "Oh, you're an asshole." It might trigger them the first time. Yes, it will trigger them, but you gotta plant that seed into them. You plant that seed and allow that seed to sprout. They might not get it that day. They might not get it that week. Not that month, not that year, but one day it's gonna pop up in their head and it'll be like, oh, they was right. That's what they was talking about. Oh, but you did God's work, so boom, close the door and boom, boom, move closer to your promised land. Okay, don't stop yourself from entering the promised land to please these people of the world. Okay, for real though, cause. All right. So, chapter 8, Deuteronomy chapter 8, we're ending with this is the last line of the chapter. If you ever forget the Lord your God and follow other gods and worship and bow down to them, I testify against you today that you will surely be destroyed. Like the nations the Lord destroyed before you, so you will be destroyed for not obeying the Lord your God. So God is saying basically, so if you obey God and you do his work and then you get to your promised land and you forget about him, like you ain't know who he was, like, or who he is. Oh, like, let's go back to Deuteronomy 8:17. You may say to yourself, my power and the strength of my hands have produced this wealth for me. But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth and so confirms his covenant, which he swore to your forefathers as it is today. Oh yeah, you got into your promised land, but when you get in your promised land, it was me. People be like, oh, it was me. I did it myself. Oh, no, honey. No. God gave you the ability to produce the wealth for you to enter your promised land. So don't forget about him, okay? Don't forget about God. Because if you forget about God, you will be destroyed. Have no fear. Remember why you're here. Thank you.